Now I give them the story of the Tainui canoe when it left Hawaiki. In the first place, the name Tainui means tai for tide, and nui for high or great. That means high tide. It was at that time, or springtide, when Tainui left Hawaiki. With Hotunui as the priest and Hoturoa as the commander. It was about Maori term it as Hohua, that is the summer about springtime in December, and that was the time they left. Before they left, they were told that 3 days after that there's going to be what they call tomata. Tomata is storm weather. It's in Maori. However, that the people there forbid Hotunui not to leave Hawaiki. But his reply to them was, let myself and Tamate, that is what they term the storm god, like, to fight it out at sea. However, he risked it. From thence, Tainui canoe left Hawaiki on his voyage direct to Cape Runaway. At Cape Runaway, he turned into the Bay of Plenty in the direction northeast, going as far as Cape Caldwell, when he was directed into the Gulf known now as the Hauraki Gulf via north wind. Hence which Hauraki, the name Hauraki derived its name from, meaning north means raki or tuaraki, wind means hau, meaning northern wind that brought Tainui down into the Hauraki Gulf. Coming into the Hauraki Gulf, it anchored outside the Shortland Wharf. The anchors were lowered there. The name of the anchor of the stern of this tiny canoe was Ruahine Tākuna, and also the anchor of the bow called Pumapunga. This was left between the rivers Waiho and Piako, which is now dry land, known as Shelley Beach. And I heard in the years past that this anchor was picked up by a man named Reuben Connor and handed over to the authorities of the Auckland Museum. Going from Shortland Wharf, Tainui went on Tamaki, past Tamaki, into Waitematā harbour, landed at Takapuna. They went up to where the flagstaff now stands. Coming down from there, they returned and directed up the Tamaki River to Otahu, where the canoe Tainui was dragged over from there into the harbour now known as the Manukau harbour. As I have told, the name Manukau, meaning in Pākehā is floating or the refloating. Through the refloating of Tainui on that harbour, after strenuous dragging of the canoe, they were only too glad like to refloat it, and therefore was called the refloating of Tainui again on that harbour. Therefore the name from whence the name Manukau derives its name. Manukau, the refloating of the canoe Tainui. From thence it went to Kāwhia, where it landed. And I am told today that it is there where it landed, and it has turned into a stone. And from there, Hotunui came to Pātea. His idea was to get in touch with Turi, who was the captain of the Aotea canoe, who had already landed there in Taranaki, whom he had heard Kupe telling him that the sea on the west coast was plentiful for shellfish and pippies and so forth. So he went there to the sea, but he didn't find anything there compared to with Hauraki. Having time came by, he married Hotu, married a woman there by the name of Marutūahu, who had two sons, namely Marutūahu and Marukau. And the third son, Marutūahu, was still in the mother's womb when Hotunui was accused of stealing a kūmara pit there. Why he was accused for it, of the sort of a club foot, and by his footmarks. And being called a thief, he felt small himself, and one day he went to his wife and told him that he was going away. He couldn't stand the scorning of the people any longer, and that he was going away, that he was ashamed of himself. The time he left, they had the kūmara rows already in the furrowed up, ready for planting. And before he left, he went to his wife, Marutūahu, and told her, should his baby be born, a boy, to call his name Marutūahu. If it should be a girl, to call it Paritūahu. That is, this tuahu means the furrowing up of their plantation ready for planting. And then he left, and he came by way of Kāwhia, right around, and married and landed at Whakatiwa, now on the opposite side of the Thames, at a pa called Pū Anoan, which was a pa of Rua Hiore, who was of the Uriopo tribe. When he came there, Whakatiwai was already populated by people who came with kupe, the tribes, namely as Ngāti Huarere, Uriopo, Waitaha and Marama, and Ngāiri. There he settled. When years passed by, Marutūahu had born and had grown to boyhood. When playing with the playmates at tops, he always excelled, like always playmates. And casting lots, it was the same way. When at last his playmates were jealous of him, and they started calling him illegitimate, to that effect. When one day he was ashamed of himself, he went and asked his mother, didn't he have a father, or where is his father? So his father directed him, he said, your father went in the direction of the rising sun. So when Marutūahu had his well tattooed his face as well his body, he left with a servant and came the same way by way of Kāwhia, killing birds on their way for food till they too arrived at Pakatiwe at the back where there is a bush there. It happened this day, there were two sisters that went there who were daughters of Ruhiore, who was the chief of the pa I had already said. And they heard a bird, bird being someone spearing birds in the bush. And then they went and inquired and they found the servant and asked him where was his master. They told him it was in spearing birds. And he was called and he came down and he asked them if there was a stranger at the pa and described what he was like and who was his name. They told him yes, so they brought him into the pa together with his servant. When they came to the gate of the pa, instead of Marutūahu going into the gateway, he climbed over the parapet of the pa into the pa, and then went inside where Hotunui was. He sat down alongside of him. When the food was prepared, he did not stretch out for food before Hotunui, but every time Hotunui stretched out for food, he stretched his hand over Hotunui's. And the people, the local people noticed this, and also Hotunui had an idea that he must be someone of rank, otherwise he would not belittle him by doing so what he did. So after they finished having a meal, Hotunui asked him if he was Marutūahu, and he said yes. So he took him aside away from the house, and there he empowered it anyway, endowed him with some power, which was a Maori custom, father bestowing the power upon his son. Like upon his son. And however, not thinking that much of him. And And there he married these two girls that brought him into the pa, who were Paramohau and Hine Urunga. From which the 5 sons, the origin of what is called now the Hauraki tribe of Ngāti Maru, descended from. Marutūahu married the elder sister Paramohau and had first Tamatapo, then Tamatara, and then Whananga. By his sister Hine Urunga, he begat Tangako and Whakapapa. Now the descendants of the first son, Tamatapo, were called the Uringahu or Ngāti Ronga. And the descendants of Tamatara were called in Ngāti Tamatara. And Whananga, Ngāti Whananga. And after Ngako came in the main name Ngāti Maru, because that was the male line which of that Ngāti Maru tribe. Therefore it bore the name Ngāti Maru. And Tauru Kapa, from thence came Tauru Kapa. He intermarried with the local tribes as well into the tribes of Tarawakanu. And the Ngāti Pawa, which is now termed as one of the Hauraki tribes, how his name originated from, through Tamatara. Tamatara had Taharua. Who had Tukutuku. Tukutuku married Ngāti Pawa, married Pawa. Pawa, I've mentioned in my first recording that was from Tarawakanu. I traced it out like Tara was the canoe, Tamatakapu was the commander who had Kahumatamoe. Kahumatamoe had Tawakemoe Tahanga had Uenuku. Uenuku had Rangiti. Rangiti had Kawatapuarangi. Kawatapuarangi had Pikiao. Pikiao had Hekemaru. Hekemaru had Mahuta. And then Pawa. That's where Pawa originated from and married into a granddaughter of Tamatara. Hence the tribe under his wife came under his name. That's how the Ngāti Pawa has its name originated from. And now coming back to those tribes, they have a proverbs on their own. Like as Tamatara. Tamatara is called Hoit Whakatuketuke. That means to say they do not paddle their canoes like in orderly, like when we paddling, not together. That's what it means. You may be paddling what you call hit the other one's paddle, so forth like that, to that effect. Well, meaning that any tribal matters, they never coincide unless they have a discussion over matters. And whanaunga was called kitai. Kitai means one word. Now that word was their bond. Whatever in the way of battle or tribal matters, they always decide right away. And then Pāo Tainga Rahirai. That is the tribe's son of power. Rahirai means tender ears. He's ready to, whatever command is given by anyone, whether his own tribe or outside people, they're ready to hearken or to listen to whatever matter is put before them. And there's the tribal proverbial words. And now we come to the main Hauraki proverb, which is, I have mentioned, Hauraki is the land, Tikapa the sea, or the Gulf, known as now as Hauraki Gulf. Tikapa means a vast area of the rippling, of the individual rippling of the waves, with a vast area. That's how the name Tikapa derived from. And Ngāti Maru is the people. Now today, the name Hauraki is what's called to a hill, is directed to a hill, known to this day as Hauraki. That is now at the race course at Paraguay. That hill is called Hauraki. And the ancestors had a proverb also for that hill. Name reads this way. The hill at Hauraki is covered with mist. It greets to the earth and weep for its people. Now the meaning of that, at that hill, at the olden times, it's almost covered with mist at all times. And I was told at that time was populated with people at that time, that they hardly a space like for the earth, under its inhabitants. Therefore, they what you call greets to the people at that time. Now, this proverb is being used by the Maori today as in the tangi. Like when they go greet, giving a farewell speech to a dead, they say the hill at Hauraki is covered with mist. It greets to the earth and weeps for its people, because its peoples are all gone, and therefore when you see the mist on there, it's greeting not only to the earth all that is there, also the people who are all gone. That is being carried on up to the present time. And now I come to the settling of these here sub-tribes under the 5 sons of Marutūahu. Now the Ngāti Panaunga and the Ngāti Pāo, they settled on the western side of the Hauraki Gulf, Pairoa inland as far as Pairoa to Te Aroha, and the Ngāti Maru in Hauraki down to the Cape Caldwell. And these were the areas settled by these 5 tribes. Now I'm giving the whakapapa right down from Father Earth and Mother Rangi. Papa Tuanu, and that's Rangi Nui, who had Urutangangana. Urutangangana had Pokarongo Iapa. who made hayata and had marama ki te rangi. Marama ki te rangi had mahina. Mahina had tāanga. He made irapaki and had maui tiki o tāanga. Who had whaito. Who made tato and had te ewe. Te ewe had takahapu. Takahapu had tūwhare kiokio. Tūwhare kiokio had whaitiri. Who made kaitangata and had hema. Who made who had arapata i te rangi. Who had tāwhaki. Who had wahiaroa. Who had rata. Who had pole. Who had pahu mahutaka. Who had Aurunga first and Rotapu second. Aurunga had Auroa. Auroa had Aurere. Aurere had Aurangi. Aurangi had Uenuku. Who had the Puhaurangi. Who had Ohomairangi. Who had Muturangi. Who had the Rakauri. And then Hotunui. Hotunui had Hoturoa. Hoturoa had Hotuope. Hotuope had Hotumatapu. Hotumatapu had Motai. Who had Uwe. Uwe had Raka. Raka had Kakati. Who had Tāwhao. And Tāwhao had Whatihua. Whatihua made a woman of the Te Aoteakunui, named Uruapu Tahanga, who had Uenuki Tūwhatu. Uenuki Tūwhatu had Hotunui, the second, who was the father of Marutūahu. Now Marutūahu made Paramoihau, who had Tamatapo, Tamatera and Pananga. And he made the younger sister Hina Urunga, who had Tangaku and Ta Urukapakapa. Tamatepo had a Romai. Tamatepo had the Tamatapo had Hauraki tua first, and then Hauraki tai. Hauraki tua Romai. Romai had Puha. Puha Rakau. Rakau had Miria. Miria had Tamani, who had Tūwhakauhoa, Wharikihina, Ahurei, Tautau. And now the first one, Tūwhakauhoa had the tiki. The tiki had Martin. Martin had Kātarai, had Toke Watene. And Tamatapo had Raukitai, who had Mohoa, who had Kairangatira, who had Pakira, who had Hineahi, who had Pautangi, who had Tokorau, who had Taramaurua, who had Watene, who had Mita, who had Toke Watene. And now the descendants of the second son, Tamatera. Tamatera married Hine Urunga, who had the he, that he had Tāwhaki, who had Kapuhamea, who had Rangitauri, who had Tūwhakauhua, and Tūwhakauhua Ahurei, Tahutahu, Parikihina. Tūwhakauhua was the tiki, that tiki, Wātene had Kāwhia, who had Toke Watene. Tamatera married Rua Wahea, who had Taharua, who had Kahurautau. Taharua, who had Paretera, who married Kahurautau, who had Rautau, who had Kuriwau, who had Pautangi, who had Tokorau, who had Taramaurua, who had Watene, who had Mita, who had Toke Watene.